Hey, what's up, everybody? Just making sure everything is set here. Of course, Mercury is in shadow right now, so had a little microphone issue. Looks like that's cleared up and everybody can hear me. Everybody can see me. Yay! So hi, everybody. This is April, and I'm here to talk about the full moon in Libra on April 11th, 2017. So I'm going to go through not just the full moon itself, not just the fact that it's in Libra, but there are many, many other aspects happening that are actually aspecting the moon and aspecting the sun, because the sun is a part of a full moon. A lot of people don't really realize that, and I really like to make sure that everyone understands a lot of the technicalities of astrological events rather than just kind of, the surface level, or just say all kinds of technical stuff and kind of leave people in the dust who have no idea about certain things. So that's why you're already knowledgeable of this stuff. Forgive me, but I really like to make sure we're all on the same page here, no matter what level of understanding of astrology we're all on. So for those who aren't aware, a full moon is not just when the moon is like huge in the sky and you see it and everything. The reason why it looks like that is because it's opposing the sun. So a full moon is really when the moon is in one sign and the sun is in another, and they're, beaming energy back and forth. And just in regular old vocabulary, what does an opposition mean? An opposition is a challenge. It's like challenging someone to a duel, like one on one end, one on the other. They're kind of having a tense conversation. And what happens during the full moon is there has to be some sort of breakthrough that happens to make the two energies come to a place of a common ground, a common understanding. So that's what a full moon is about, just the very basics of a full moon. Now, don't forget that there's other planets that can make aspects or conversations with the sun, with the moon during a lunar event. And they will help to kind of set the tone and bring out the lesson of whatever this full moon is here to teach us. Because every lunar event, whether it's an eclipse or not, if it's just a regular new moon or full moon, they always bring something to light. They always bring something to the forefront. They always bring a realization of something, bring sometimes closings or ends, or sometimes new beginnings. And full moons, they're commonly said to bring more of like endings to things, endings and breakthroughs of something that, may have been kind of bubbling underneath the surface for a while. And now it's like, coming up to the surface, and it's like, bam, because everyone notices, whether they're into astrology or not, everybody notices that a full moon, a lot of people, they get like really riled up, they get rowdy, they get emotional. And, the moon, it pulls the tides of water, and it does that to us as humans because we're made up of mostly water. So that's why people get so emotional on and around a full moon. So every single full moon in general is like that. So what's going on with this full moon on April 11th? So we have the moon in the sign of Libra. Okay, so what is Libra energy? What does the moon in Libra mean? Well, Libra energy is all about partnerships. It's about relating one-on-one to people on to meet a common ground. Okay, so that can mean love relationships. It doesn't always have to. It can mean just partnering up with somebody in general. Just to like I said, to have a common ground with one another, have a conversation with one another, make sure that each other understands the other. So that's Libra energy. That can be business partnerships as well. That can be, love relationships, business partnerships, and also just kind of talking to another person in general. Okay, relationships don't always have to be like this. Not always. They can just be like this at a respectful level. Okay, So that's Libra energy. Libra is also about fairness. So are things fair between you and another person? The energy exchange between you, are things actually fair? And if they're not, what can you do about it? And the what can you do about it is the opposite end, which is Aries, where the sun is at during this full moon. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is action. You know, so Aries is action. Aries is kind of like, you know, Libra is the opposite. So Libra is kind of like, okay, let me figure out what's fair and what's not. And Libra energy will kind of talk about it, but not really be about it, you know. And Aries energy is about it. Aries energy is all about taking action. Like, you know, so Aries and Libra, they oppose each other, but the two energies can kind of help each other out. Because also Libra energy, it likes to talk things through. It's good at negotiating. It's, you know, rather than just jumping and charging and taking action if you think something's not fair, it'll kind of think things through, ponder them. You know, it's the scales. It's got to balance things out. It's got to do this for a little while before it goes like this. And it's like, aha, I figured it out. This is how we can meet in the middle like this. And the scales are balanced. Whereas Aries energy is more like, that's how I'm going to handle things not being fair, you know. So when the two work together, you know, they can be really awesome with resolving issues, resolving problems, resolving disagreements, when they actually can agree upon, you know, how to work together. So not only is this the full moon in Libra, but like I said, other planets are making aspects. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you guys the actual chart and go through it and show you guys, because a lot of people, you know, not everybody who watches these videos is an astrologer, right? Not all you guys are astrologers. A lot of you guys are studying, you know, or maybe you don't know really much about it, but you're curious. So I really am into using visual tools to kind of demonstrate things and show people what's going on. And a lot of people, they see an astrology chart, like the circular chart, like watch, I'm gonna show you guys right now. And they're like, what is all this? You know, it's all a bunch of symbols and hieroglyphics, and it's a language that you don't really understand, all those symbols. So that's why I like to talk and use a demonstrative tool at the same time. I think it's very helpful for a lot of people, whether you're at this level of astrology or this level up here. So let me get the chart on the screen for you guys and show you. Let me show you. Hold on. Just give me 1 second so I can share the screen. Screen share, yay. All right, we're gonna show this chart. Okay, so get out of there. Okay, hope you guys can see this. Okay, so this is the chart of the full moon in Libra on April 11th. So we've got, let me scoot this down a little bit. I have it zoomed in as much as possible to where you guys can still see what's going on and everything. You know what? We don't need the transits because this is a transit. So let me change that. Okay. So here's the full moon. Here's what's going on here. So as I mentioned, this is the sun here in the sign of Aries. And then here is the moon here in Libra. See the red line right here? The red line is the opposition. That's the aspect. The red lines are challenging aspects. So look at this. Look at this. We have, that's why I said there's other planets involved, because you see, this is the sun. Here's Uranus right here next to the sun. Here's the moon. Here's Jupiter here next to the moon. And then here's Pluto. Pluto is squaring both the sun and the moon. Okay. And then we have Saturn making the blue lines are the positive, more positive, less challenging aspects. So then we have Saturn making a positive aspect to the sun and to Uranus here during this full moon. But also another aspect I'm going to talk about, which is super important, even though it's like, well, this is supposed to be about the full moon. Well, you know, we got to look at the rulerships too of the moon. The moon is in the sign of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. What's going on with Venus? She is retrograde. She's still retrograde. She's conjunct Chiron here, and she's making a square, a challenging aspect to Saturn. So all of this like math, it really does add up. And I'm going to break everything down for you guys. And then I'm also going to get into what it means for each sign, the full moon in Libra, how it's going to affect each sign. And I also pulled a card overall for the overall message for everybody for the full moon in Libra. So I will get to all of that, okay? So first of all, let's talk about the conjunctions that are happening with this full moon in Libra. Look, we have the sun in Aries and Uranus in Aries. Okay, so what is Uranus energy? You know, if you've watched a lot of my videos by now, you know that I'm like a little bit out there, and I like to characterize the planets as a way to explain them more on layman's terms for people. So, and I'm just really goofy like that too. So Uranus, imagine a really zany mad scientist guy, right? He's in a lab. He's got a lot of like concoctions cooking up, and he just kind of likes to throw things together and say, ooh, I wonder if this is going to explode or if it's going to have like a positive effect if I mix these two things together, you know, and things sometimes blow up in his face and he laughs a kooky laugh and he'll try things again. So Uranus tends to do that with our lives with major Uranus transits. It's kind of like experimental, just kind of doing things out of the blue randomly just because, just to experiment and see if they work or not. And it's not always like well thought out things, to be honest, with Uranus energy. It's unexpected stuff happening. So Uranus is also about rebellion. It's also about freedom. And being in the sign of Aries, Aries is kind of a sign that, you know, it's an energy that represents freedom too. Because Aries is the I am, and it stands strong in who or what they identify as. So we've got rebelliousness and the I am, okay? We got rebellion, freedom, and this is me, this is who I am. Love me, leave me be, accept me, or get trampled over. That's Aries energy. So we've got these two guys hanging out together, exchanging this conversation. And then, oops, sorry. And then we've got the moon, the soft, loving moon in the soft, loving sign of Libra that just wants balance and harmony with everybody. And then we've got the moon talking to Jupiter, and Jupiter is retrograde, actually. So the moon and Jupiter together, you know, Jupiter, if I characterize Jupiter, he's like a jolly Santa type of guy. He's like a happy-go-lucky genie. He just likes to give. He's generous. He likes to give blessings. He smiles really big and wants everybody to smile like that along with him. Just wants to see everyone happy and shining and enjoying life to the fullest. When Jupiter is retrograde, it's kind of like, you know, the blessings are can still come to people. They can still be there, but, you know, they're slowed down a little bit. It's kind of more like going within and seeing your own value and the feeling. Jupiter is about abundance. So, you know, outwardly, when Jupiter is forward, it can give great abundance. Yes, it can. When it's retrograde, it's kind of like asking you to review how can you live abundantly, and it doesn't necessarily mean through monetary means or material means. It's kind of like having the attitude of abundance. Like you can be without the material and you can still feel abundant, and like abundance is yours. And Jupiter retrograde is kind of like I said, it's going within and figuring out how you can live like that and how you can feel like that, so that when it goes forward, you can receive great blessings because you feel deserving of them. And that feeling deserving of stuff is really huge with this full moon, and I will continue to get into that. So we've got that Jupiter energy talking to the moon, which is emotions, in Libra, which is partnership of other people. So it's like bringing to the forefront, how can we feel a balance between, you know, ourselves and others? Okay, this is the self, this is others. How can we feel a balance between that? How can we feel fulfillment while still being able to, you know, maintain great partnerships with people? How can we still be able to be truly, authentically ourselves while still being able to give ourselves to others? And how can we balance that to where it's not like too much either or, like being too much of the rebel and like fighting versus being too much of a softie. And Libra energy can lose itself, lose its identity in other people so easily because it just wants that harmony with others that it's so willing to sacrifice its own identity, I am, which is Aries. So it's finding a balance between that. Now, the part about deserving and everything that I was talking about here is Venus, the ruling planet of Libra, where the moon is at. So little Venus here, she is retrograde. She is in the sign of Pisces, and Venus is actually exalted in Pisces. That means that Venus does her best, like she performs her best in Pisces. Well, it's one of the signs that she does the best in. By doing the best, I mean like she performs her Venusian duty as Venus, you know, which is like spreading love, spreading enjoyment, spreading divine pure love. That the sacrificial pure love, selfless love is Pisces. That's why we say she's exalted there. So she's exalted there, but look, she's retrograde, the little R right there. That means she's not moving forward, okay? She's going within. She's not like, it's not really easy for her to give during this time. It's more about like reflection and introspect, which actually Pisces energy in itself is all about that as well. But yeah, retro is going back. It's reflection. So we're going back with this Venus and Pisces here. Venus and Pisces, I think of her as like the damsel in distress, like in the tower. And she's just standing up there looking out the window, hoping that Prince Charming comes and rescues her. Some mysterious Prince Charming, you know, will come and see and notice and just intuit the fact that she is suffering in some sort of way. And he'll just say, I just noticed this about you. You didn't say anything. I just felt it. And here I am to rescue you. Venus in Pisces doesn't really speak out. Like when she was in Aries, well, she's in Aries right now still, but during this full moon, like she's going to be here. But yeah, when Venus is in Aries, it is like more about speaking out and like kind of going within and like, oh, well, you know, am I getting what I deserve? Is all about me. What have you done for me lately? Like I deserve, and you know, am I getting that rather than outwardly giving to other people? So it is kind of going back over that again, but in a different type of energy, which is that selfless Pisces love that's like, and it wants things to be ideal. Okay, that's a huge lesson here is also Pisces wants that ideal love that's perfect and that matches their like fantasy. But look at this. She's making a square to Saturn. Papa Saturn, he's all about reality. He's all about grounding. And grounding is another huge lesson with this full moon in the sign of Libra too. Grounding. Okay, because Saturn, that's what he's all about. And he's challenging Venus. You know, like Venus is like, why me? I'm the victim here. Especially being conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. You know, Chiron is great energy for healing, but on a negative side, it can, you know, with this type of conjunction, bring out of people that victim role. Like, what about me, poor me, and everybody picks on me, and I'm so wounded and hurt, and I'm going to wallow and drown in that, and I'm going to express myself in that way to make people feel sorry for me so that they'll come and rescue me. But Saturn is like, no, I'm sorry. Reality check, Missy. You can do things for yourself, okay? You don't need to wait for someone to rescue you. And you have power. You just maybe have a more silent power. You need to learn how to use that, okay? So that is also a part of this full moon because this is the ruling planet of the moon being in Libra. Now, the good thing about Saturn here is Saturn is making a positive aspect to the sun in Aries, okay, and Uranus and Aries together. That's the I am, and I am like truly me, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me from doing that, from being so. So I think that's also definitely part of the lesson here. I feel like with this energy here, we may feel quick to things may be happening quickly. Okay. We still have Mars in very slow moving Taurus. Okay. And Mars is the ruling planet of the sun here in Aries. So it's slow, but it's also grounding. So I feel like things may be moving very quickly for us here, or we may be feeling towards like we want to move quickly with changes, but there is a lesson in grounding. Grounding and structure and discipline are like huge lessons with this full moon. And see, if we were to only look at it being in Libra, oh, it's a full moon in Libra, it's all about Libra and relationships alone, and that's it. That's like totally surface level. That's why I wanted to show this, because there's so much going on. And then we also have a square challenge to Pluto. So from both the sun and the moon. So Pluto, what is Pluto about? Pluto is about power. It's about power and authority, but it's about like digging way deep within the soul, under the surface. It's like, it looks not just underneath, it looks like on the side, above, like everywhere, and sees everything. Everything that's like quote unquote hidden, Pluto sees that. So Pluto is challenging, the moon in Libra to see reality, to look beyond the surface, because Libra, honestly, guys, Libra could be very surface level, because Libra wants balance and harmony that, like, to a fault. Libra can just look at the surface of things just for the sake of thinking that everything is awesome, everything is peachy, that's what Libra can do. But Pluto's gonna be like, well, hold up here, Miss Libra. Well, Libra is supposed to be a masculine energy, but I think it's both feminine and masculine because it's ruled by Venus, personally. But since it's the moon, which is feminine, we'll just say female, okay? So Pluto's gonna be like, look here, Miss Moon in Libra. You need to look beyond the surface, especially when it comes to relating one-on-one to other people. You cannot just give yourself away, like give your identity away just for the sake of keeping the peace. And it's challenging the sun too. Like, look, you cannot just pummel over everybody, bulldoze over people just for the sake of you keeping your identity and your integrity. You can't do that. See how it's expecting both? Pluto is telling both of them, look, both of you guys need to find a way to meet in the middle, okay? Like, you need to meet in the middle with this stuff. You need to figure out who you are, and you need to figure out who you are still while you're in a relationship, whether that is business, whether it is personal, love, whatever, okay? And then also, no victim role. Like, yeah, it's cool to reflect back, and, if old wounds and pain come to the surface because of this guy right here, okay, that's fine, but you need to move on from it. Saturn is going to say, look, you need to move on, okay? Like, you can't, like, Saturn is about work, okay? Saturn is like that CEO guy, like your boss, like in the office, who like gets to put his feet up on the table. I was gonna say smoke a cigar, but that's like really old school, like, because you can't do that anymore in offices. You can't smoke anymore, like back in the, probably before the 80s. But yeah, just picture like that character then, okay? Like the CEO boss, his feet are up in his office. He's got a cigar, like the old school days. And he's just kind of like, look, kid, are you coming to work or not? Like, I don't care about you crying about your problems. There's still work that needs to be done. Yes, relationships are work. They can be work. Granted, yes, they should, Libra is about relationships running smoothly, okay? It's about like meeting in the middle to make sure that there's no arguments and stuff, but at the same time, you got to keep your identity, stand your ground, and all that good stuff. So it's kind of like Venus is learning a lot of stuff. Venus is like, okay, these planets are all talking, pretty much saying like, reflection is cool, learn what you need to learn, but move on. But there's also grounding, okay? With Saturn here and Mars and Taurus, there's a grounding that needs to be here, because of the fact that, this is like this is fire energy here. Aries, it wants to move quickly. Saturn is in fire too, Even though Saturn's not about moving quickly, it's still like fire energy where you just want to like, just jump and just do, you know. But it's kind of like, yeah, you know, you got to make sure that you have all your bases covered, but don't dwell on stuff like that. Don't dwell on pain. Don't dwell on suffering. You know, let's just work on this. Saturn, work. Let's work. You better work, okay? He's talking positively to the sun, which is the action here that's going on with this full moon. Oops, I'm sorry. No iMovie right now. So hold on. Let me flip this screen back so you guys can see me and I can converse with you guys face to face once again. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. Stop screen sharing. Okay, can you guys see me now? Okay, so, whew, that was a lot of talking. Hold on. You guys know me by now. I have to take a sip of something after talking. I'm a Taurus and I tend to lose my voice. So pardon me while I take a sip really quick here. Yeah, and I'm speaking with passion because this is very powerful. And I know everybody will say every you know, lunar event, every transit is so powerful and life-changing. I'm not necessarily saying that. I am saying though that there's a lot going on here. There's so much going on with this full moon. So it's not just the moon. It's also the sun. It's also Venus, Saturn, Pluto, you know, and Mercury. Mercury is retrograde during the time of this full moon. Mercury just is going retrograde like a few days before this full moon happens. So Mercury retrograde is also about going within. There's a lot of retrogrades happening around this time. A lot of retrogrades, you know, retrograde planets aspecting the sun and moon. And then Mercury's retrograde. It doesn't make any aspects directly to anything, but yeah, it's retrograde. So it really is like going back over things, going back over like your value in relationships, which is Venus. Like, how are you being valued? And if there's anything that happened in the past, how can you move on? You know, and then the aspect to Saturn. Saturn is about karma too. Saturn retrograde is past karma coming back. And Venus retrograde is like past relationship stuff coming up to the surface. Then Chiron is like pain, you know, it's pain and how can I heal from this pain? So that really is going to be, you know, those are going to be the biggest lessons with the full moon, with any type of relationship. Like I said, love, just any relationship. They're definitely going to be tested, and you're going to be tested yourself as an individual. How can you maintain your cool, your composure, yourself, your identity, while still working on relationships with other people? I mean, those are huge with this. So also, I pulled a card for everybody. Okay, I pulled a card. I've been so anxious to show you guys. I was gonna wait till the end, but just going over all of those aspects and everything, like the card that I pulled, I just want to show you what it is. Like, I'm so excited because it really, really just really goes along with everything that I just spoke about. So here it is, without further ado. The card that I intuitively pulled for all of us before this broadcast is the 8 of Fire. So the 8 of Fire, as you can see in this card, this is in the traditional tarot, this is the 8 of Wands. So there are wands and there are these jewels at the end of the wands and they're all different colors. In this tarot deck, which is the Angel Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Ranley Valentine, it's such an awesome deck because of the imagery and everything. It's not just words. If you are someone who's more into imagery and intuiting things by what you see, this is a really good deck to follow. So as you can see, like there's colors of every chakra on, I think it's every one of them. Yeah, there's the main, most of them, yeah. Most of the chakra colors are in here, if not all. So look at the wands. They're just like whizzing around. Like a few of them are whizzing around. Okay, so there's like a few whizzing around. There's so much going on at one time. So much going on at one time. And the message on the card even says events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening at once. So people are going to just really feel like so much is happening at once, like with your emotions, with your thoughts, and even with actions around you. You're going to feel so inclined towards just taking action like that, especially because Aries is involved in this full moon. But the rest of the aspects are a reminder of like, hold on, take a step back, reflect, okay, heal if you need to, make sure all bases are covered, which is Saturn, and then move forward and accept change. Because with all these retrogrades going on in the month of April in general, which you need to watch your April general forecast for those, which are coming out soon from me, and all my other fellow awesome readers on this channel. A lot of them already have those videos out. So there's a lot of retrogrades going on in April, and that is a lot of change happening in that month with those shifts from direct to retrograde. So yeah, a lot of things happening at one time. But see, there's water in the background of this card, which is emotion. So there are going to be feelings involved. Of course, this is a moon, you know, it rules emotions, but also there's, you know, a lot of green in the background, and there is some earth back there. So there is some grounding that needs to be done. And this is an 8. This is a number 8 card. And 8s are about like power and rewards, like rewards of success for doing the right thing, if you will. And yeah, this card is just all together. It's about rapid shifts, totally about rapid shifts happening. And that's what I can see. But yeah, you know, just the lesson of the full moon is like to stay grounded. You may feel like reacting, you know, moon and Jupiter together, it just wants to jump. It just wants to jump and fly because it has so much faith that it has so much faith in the outcome that it wants to happen, you know? Having faith is good. It is. But then there's that Saturn that's like, hold on. We really have to think about things first. And especially retrograde, we have to reflect. We have to go back. Another thing about Saturn retrograde is, you know, Saturn retrograde, I feel like Saturn can also like be characterized by a great teacher, like a teacher, a professor, or even a dad, okay, like a father figure. And, you know, a teacher or professor, they will give you a test, right? And they'll say, you need to prepare for this test. You need to study for this test. I'm going to give you this test on this date. Make sure you study, okay? And then I feel like a Saturn retrograde is like going back over things. It's like the review. Saturn is coming back in the room. Okay, guys, have you studied? I'm going to start checking around everywhere. You know, I'm going to start, or like a dad that asks you to clean your room and clean your room spotless and clean it to be like organized, like for real, not just like shove everything in your closet really quick and then close the door and like under your bed and then say, I'm done, Dad. You know, if you have done that with your relationships, with, it depends on where Saturn lands in your chart, where the greatest lessons are, which will be gone over in the April horoscopes as well. But, you know, just generally speaking, like with this full moon theme, it does have to do with relationships and, you know, giving yourself away too much versus not giving yourself away enough, like being selfish versus being selfless. So, you know, there's a lesson here with that. And if you have been shoving everything under your bed this whole time and in your closet this whole time, guess what Papa Saturn is going to do when he goes retrograde? He's going to come back. He's going to open that closet. He's going to be like, what's this here? Nope. What is all this crap in here? Nope, nope. He's going to throw it all out, throw it back right in front of your face and say, you need to sort through all this stuff, okay? I asked you to do it properly. I asked you to do step by step, clean, organize, and you didn't do it. So guess what? Bing, here's a mess again, right in front of your face to clean up, you know? So that's the whole past karma thing coming back in front of your face a lot of times with Saturn retrograde. And since it's making a square to Venus, it's challenging Venus to go back over stuff. It's like the past comes to the present once again. So this can be, you know, a finalization of something to do with relationships, especially since Venus has been retrograde since when? Oh my gosh, since the beginning of March. So like a whole month before this full moon, like we had this whole month where I'm telling you, I told you guys Venus retrograde was going to bring back old relationships. You don't know how many social media posts I have been seeing since the beginning of March that my ex called me, like my ex messaged me, like, you know, and not only just exes coming back, that's like the whole drama show of the whole Venus retrograde, right? But also, what about the people that are in relationships currently? How has it been affecting them? There have been old things coming back to the surface, old issues. Also, like I said, even with relationships, if you've been just kind of, you know, like half-heartedly doing things, like not cleaning your room properly, shoving everything under the bed, you know, that's been coming back up again, even with just the Venus retrograde. I mean, Venus has been squared to Saturn anyway. Or wait, hold on. No, it hasn't. My bad. Venus will be square to Saturn, but Saturn has been it squared the sun in Pisces in March at the same point where Venus is going to be retrograde. So that was something that was brought up again, you know, that was something that was brought up like a few weeks before this Venus square Saturn, sorry. Woo, I'm going all over the place. See, the 8 of fire going all over the place. I have to stop myself from doing that too much. But it has already been brought to the surface and it's going to be brought back up again. Okay. So, and I can think of a lot of personal examples. I don't want to get too personal in my own, you know, relationship, dating life or anything like that. But, there's definitely been in my partnership, you know, some revision of how we can make certain things better in a relationship. So it's not just about single people and exes and all that stuff. It is about those of us that are in relationships too. I mean, this is full moon in Libra, relationships in general. So, yeah, guys, there may be some stuff that has to be cleaned up with this full moon. Some trash is brought out, you know, from underneath the surface, especially because Pluto is involved. That Pluto square, the sun and moon, Pluto can dig up some things. I characterize Pluto as well as being like, Pluto is like a plumber. What does a plumber do? Like, if I know this is nasty, okay, I know this can be a little grody or whatever, but I'm just using a real example. If your toilet is backed up, okay, I know, nasty, okay, but if your toilet is backed up and you can't fix it with a plunger, who do you call? You call a plumber. And all that stuff is backed up in your pipes underneath the surface and it needs to come out. It's gross stuff backing it up, but it really does need to come out in order to be flushed away, okay? I know I'm all like, I try to be prim and proper, 7th houser about stuff, you know, not be too gross or anything, but that's just, I am an imaginative Pisces moon and that comes to my mind, like plunging out old crap from underneath the surface, facing it, even though it's ugly, it's not pretty, you know. Libra wants things to be pretty and everything, but hey, guess what's brewing underneath the surface, Libra? Some really nasty, ugly things. They need to be brought out to be discussed, to say, hey, look, you know, if you're having an issue in your relationship, it needs to be talked about. You need to talk about it, okay? Need to talk. So let me go back to the chart again for those who may have just joined in and only see me talking. Hold on, that's not how to get to it. So I'm gonna go back and screen share just to kind of reiterate the lessons a bit for people that are just joining in or joined in late. Just go over it once again before I get to every sign. I'm gonna go over how it's affecting everybody. Present to everyone. Wait, was I even presenting? Oh my gosh. I think it was working before. Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, here we go. Okay, so here we have, I'm going to maximize here. Okay, so here we go once again. Full moon is in Libra, moon is in Libra, conjunct Jupiter. Happy-go-lucky Jupiter wants everything to be great, happy in relationships, which is Libra. Then it's opposing Sun and Uranus, It's all about me. I'm a rebel. This is what I need. This is what I'm going to do no matter what. I don't care what you say. I'm going to stand my ground, and I'm going to headbutt you if you try to stop me from being me and doing what I want to do. Libra's up here like, hold on, you know, what about catering to me? Like, what about us both doing the same thing at the same time? Sun and Aries with Uranus, like, but I just want to do me. So there's an opposition between that, okay? Then we've got Venus and Chiron here. Oh, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Somebody save me, rescue me. I don't even know how to solve my own problems or relationships or anything. This is just painful. I'm going to dwell in it. I'm going to wallow in it. Oh, woe is me. Square to Saturn, retrograde. Hold up there, little missy. Go back over your past karma, okay? And learn how to heal from it and move on so you can be happy in your current relationship or welcome in beautiful new relationship energy instead of just wallowing and thinking, I can never find anyone. Oh, woe is me. Life sucks. No, 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 no. You have some things to heal from, sweetheart, okay? So that is Saturn squaring this, Venus and Chiron conjunction. Pluto, the plumber. Hey guys, we got to dig out this old crap from underneath the surface. It's been harboring. Like, what are we going to do about it? We need to bring it up. It's ugly. You don't like it. I'm sorry you don't like it, but we got to look at it and see what we can do to get rid of it, flush it out of our lives, and move on. So our relationships can run smoothly, but, oh my gosh. I think, hold on. I think my sharing is not working here. You guys, Mercury is in shadow already. I know Mercury retrograde is not until when? It's not until the beginning of April, but it's in shadow right now. So forgive me for the mishap with not being able to see the chart, and I thought I was screen sharing. I'm so sorry. You see my mug instead, my face. Just talking to you guys, and I'm like, I'm gonna share the chart. Sorry about that. Here we go, screen share. Okay, now I am screen sharing. My apologies. Okay, so I'm not gonna repeat everything because you guys heard me. But once again, you know, this is all about being an individual and remaining that, and you know, getting what you deserve out of life and relationships, but still meeting in the middle with other people and not dwelling on your pain, okay? Healing from past pain to welcome in the new, because this is all about changes, huge changes. And I'm not just saying that, you know, this is really because of all the retrogrades. Pluto is like moon. I know you're sensitive, but we've got to look at some crap. Sun, I know you want to shine and you want to be happy and everybody to be happy and sunny and just, you know, everyone see you in a positive light, but there's some stuff, ugly stuff that you need to look at with yourself and with your relationship with other people. Saturn is going to help to bring some reality because it's making a positive aspect to the sun. It's going to check us on some things, make us go back over things, clean out that closet, sort things out properly, organize them, and then we can proceed to move along, hopefully happy and healthy in our relationships, okay? So that's the chart, sorry. That is the chart here of this full moon in Libra. It's gonna be pretty awesome. You just gotta keep a positive mind. You know, remember that 8 of Fire card that I just pulled? It's things maybe, you may be wanting to take quick action, but remember right here that Mars, the planet of action, is in Taurus. Taurus is slow moving. Taurus is all about, it's more like a steady home cooked meal rather than microwaving stuff, which Aries wants to microwave and get it done. Oh my God, I've got to get it done so fast. You know, we want to make a fast decision here. But Mars is like, hold on, wait a second. What are we really doing? And Mars and Taurus may really talk like that, a lot slower. And Pluto is supporting Mars here too. Making a really positive trine aspect, you know, to help to dig out the ugly, but to sort through it step by step instead of trying to microwave through things quickly. We're really going to be revising a lot of stuff with all this retrograde action we've got going on. And then Mercury retrograde here in Taurus too, some more grounding energy. So it's all about staying grounded amongst this like feeling of a need for change, but yeah, but still welcoming and accepting change, but remaining true to yourself, remaining, you know, remaining like positive in relationships and willing to compromise without sacrificing being your true self. So, excuse me. Okay, now it's me again. Hi. So sorry for the Mercury mishaps. So here's the card once again if you guys want to see it. If anybody's just joining in. 8 of Fire, stuff whizzing around, but we got to stay grounded, not get too emotional, but stay grounded. And you know, this is the color of the sacral chakra, the orange chakra, which is like creativity. Yeah, and the yellow one is about confidence. The solar plexus, having confidence. But see, this one is standing still. So really, I would recommend that people read into the sacral chakra, the orange chakra, the one that's like around the navel area. Read into that. Try to tap into that during this full moon and see what you can get from it and what you can manifest from that and channel from it, because this is the one that's standing still. So this is probably going to be the one that helps you to ground things and ground yourself, and to keep the relationship going good, because this is like creativity, like romance. It's like, you know, how can I put it? I love the sacral chakra. There's just so much to say about it. I'm like really hyped. I'm like, where can I start talking about it? But just read up on the sacral chakra, the orange chakra, whatever, to help you guys with this full moon in Libra. Oh my gosh, that was so much to say, so much. So how is it affecting everybody, each by sign? How is it affecting all of you guys by sign? What is your horoscope? So for Aries, woo, Aries. Excuse me, I'm getting close to that hour where I'm losing my voice. So hold on, let me take a drink before I get to everybody's signs. All right, so excuse me. So Aries, this full moon in Libra is happening in your relationship house, the 7th house. Hold on, let me get a little comfy here too. Okay, so the relationship house, and it's between you and other people. It really is like totally about relationships for Libra people. This full moon in Aries people. Look at Mercury. Woof. Aries people, it's really about you and other people, because Uranus is in your sign, wanting to be free to be you, wanting to be rebellious. Sorry, I just got a little dizzy for a second. I'm a little too excited. So it's really like wanting to still maintain your own integrity and be you, and not go along like with what other people want you to do, and to where like you lose touch with yourself. And become superficial, because Aries doesn't want to be superficial. It wants to be like, this is I am, you know, and I mean it. So it's really going to be about you and other people. And you will, especially Aries, you guys will be one of the main signs that wants to feel like just jumping. I mean, you do that anyway, because you're a fire sign. You're excited about life. You're a self-starter. You just want to get things going. So you're really going to be feeling in your element. And Uranus is going to be helping you to feel that way, feel like a buzz of energy to just jump, you know. And then the moon and Jupiter is opposing you. And Jupiter likes to just kind of jump too and just have faith. And then the moon is emotional. So it's like you're going to want to jump according to your emotions. But the grounding lesson is really going to be especially important for you guys, Aries. So Saturn is really aspecting you guys positively. So just tap into that Saturn energy of like, okay, before I jump and make a move, let me think about this. Let me make sure, like, if it's all about like you wanting to get into a relationship, like you wanting to start one, you know, remember that the Venus is still retrograde for a few more days before it goes, for a few more days during the time of this full moon. Venus is still retrograde. Okay, so just don't jump and fly, Aries. Don't jump and fly. Make sure you tap into that a little bit slower but steady energy. I know it's hard, okay, but just think things through. Pretty much is what the lesson of the full moon is. Think things through with your relationships, whether existing, whether you want to get in a new one. Just think it through. Yes, remember the lessons and everything, but you know, like just think things through and welcome in change, which you guys usually don't have any problem doing, Aries people. So next up for Taurus. Taurus people, this is in your 6th house and 12th house. So this is between like your physical world, how you take care of like your physical surroundings and your physical body itself, and what you do every day in your physical environment, like it's routines that you have, versus the opposite, which is like your spirit, your soul, you being in your mind more than your body, not always being present in the physical world is the 12th house. And it's like, yeah, how you just take care of your spiritual self, like how you feel and what you pick up on that's unseen. Like the 6th house is what's seen. Like, you know, I have this pen in front of me, I have these papers, they need to be organized. That's the 6th house. The 12th house is more like up here, what needs to be organized, you know? So there is going to be a push and pull with this moon between those 2 houses that has to do with like, I think Tauruses are going to have to make some changes to health and how they take care of themselves in order to feel like spiritually sound, if that makes sense, you know, mentally sound, spiritually and physically. Like it's all about finding that balance. So, you know, in layman's terms, Tauruses, I'm a Taurus too. You know, we as Tauruses, we don't really like restrictions when it comes to diet, especially like how we eat. We don't like those restrictions. We like to just enjoy. We like to indulge. We like every little thing about food and drink. Like we take it all in. Like really, we don't, you know, we notice everything because of the 5 senses being ruled by Taurus. So it's very hard to make changes, like say for example, to diet, you know, and then Taurus isn't the most active physically sign. So like getting exercise, we could be resistant towards that too. But I really feel like this full moon may be calling you like to look at your relationship with yourself, like your physical body and your spiritual self. Like, how are you taking care of both? What changes need to be made? Do you really value, because Venus is involved here too. Venus is our ruling planet, Taurus. And Venus is about value. Are you really valuing your body and your soul and your spirit? Are you taking the time out for yourself to take care of your body, to relax, to meditate, to tap into any type of whatever spiritual, anything, unseen source of love, light, energy that you believe in? Are you taking the time to connect with that? Are you listening to your dreams? Are you listening to your intuition, Taurus? That's a really big lesson for this full moon. You know, especially our ruling planet is conjunct Chiron. So also the 12th house is about karma too. So there can be some more karmic things coming up for Tauruses, I feel like, with this full moon. Whether it is with yourself or relationships with other people, like there's a lot of healing in order for you to feel like physically like complete and balanced out with like your spiritual self. There's really going to be a fight for balance there, but just remember, once again, don't jump, which Tauruses we normally don't do, but Mars is in our sign during this time. So just really tap into your Taurus energy of taking things slow and really thinking things over before you make any decisions. And yeah, we may need a timeout. We may need a major timeout. So Gemini, this is between your 5th and 11th houses. The 5th house is the heart, and it's all about being an individual. And it's like, it's another one of those energies similar to Aries, excuse me, because it's also fiery energy. That's like, this is me, this is who I am. It's all about me. Like, this is how I like to shine. Excuse me. I want to shine as an individual. And then the opposite end is the 11th house, which is all about shining within a group and connecting with groups and accepting yourself as being a part of a group. So Geminis, you know, you guys are a social sign. You're an air sign. You normally don't have any issues with like being a part of a group. You could put a Gemini almost anywhere, you know, and Geminis are just talk to people and find like stuff to talk about with anybody. Like you guys know so much about every little thing, you know? So it's like you put a Gemini with somebody who's into sports. Oh my gosh, they will really just fly off, just go off talking about sports. Even if it's like they only know about a little bit about it, they can make themselves sound like they know so much about it. They can converse one-on-one with other people very easily about topics that they only have like a few little, you know, tidbits of information about. They can still make it a big conversation. So it's going to be like, yeah, just But are you a follower though, Gemini? Like, that's kind of what I feel like this lesson is about with this full moon in Libra. Like, are you a follower or are you like an individual, you know? Because Geminis, you guys can be like, air sign likes to connect with others. And sometimes Gemini could be like a chameleon and just kind of like lose your identity in other people because you're talking to them and you're just like, you get into them and their personality and then you start acting and talking like them. So I think it's cool, you know, this lesson for you is like, it's cool to be a part of a group and identify yourself as, yeah, I'm a part of this group and this is, you know, associated with my identity and who I am. But don't forget to like shine on your own as an individual and show your own talents to the world and, you know, value yourself and your talents. Don't get lost in the crowd, Gemini. I would say that's the biggest lesson for you guys. Don't get lost in the crowd, okay? Cancer, this is between your 4th and your 10th houses. Now, this is home base for Cancer. Excuse me, because the 4th house, Cancer is the 4th sign on the regular zodiac wheel, so 4th house matters. Anything 4th in astrology is Cancer energy. So we've got, you know, the moon in your 4th house. Oh my gosh, that's ultra. I just feel like all the Cancer-y stuff coming out, you know. Moon in the 4th house is like moon in Cancer. This is really your element. And then we've got the sun and Uranus in your 10th house of career, not just career, but like it's authority and kind of like standing on your own 2 feet, but not just standing on your own 2 feet. It's being elevated to where you are, not in a negative way, but like looking down upon other people, Cancer. And I know, you guys are very sweet people. You like to make sure everybody feels comfortable and secure. So it's not really a Cancer's nature and thing to like stand high above and look down upon other people. But, you know, when the sun is in your 10th house, it is kind of a time to be on that kind of a throne, you know, be that CEO in the office with that cigar for a minute and look around your world and see what can be changed and what directions you can give to people. And, you know, it can be time for Cancers to tap into that energy. And on the bottom, we have the moon in Libra in your 4th house, home and family and making people feel comfortable and secure. So we've got a push and pull here between the two. Like, how can I still, you know, make my family and the people that I love feel like appreciated and loved while still being an individual out in the world, doing what I'm here to do, fulfilling like my purpose, my destiny, what lessons I'm supposed to learn, you know, to become my best self, my highest self, which is the 10th house. It's really going to be a lesson in that. How can you do both? And on a mundane level, for a lot of Cancers, it can mean like a huge career change is on the horizon and, you know, you still have to take care of home and family, or it causes you to have a change with like where you live or like your schedule. Excuse me. Like, say, for example, like you're a Cancer and you take care of your kids. You get out of work at a certain time to be able to pick them up, be that, you know, Cancer mom or Cancer dad baking cookies after school and all that stuff, you know, taking care of the kids. But now you have this great career opportunity that comes up for you, and like it may change your schedule to where you can't be there for your family and your loved ones like that anymore. What are you gonna do? Because within your nature is so like, I want to be there and I want to care, but I have a chance to be like so like elevated into my higher self and like my highest power. Like, what do I do with that? You know? So I feel like that's just one scenario that can come up for Cancers during this full moon in Libra. So next we have Leo. Leo, this is going to be between your 3rd and your 9th houses. Excuse me. So this is like, the 3rd house is like, it's like little skills you can learn. You know, you can take a couple classes on something, kind of know a little bit about it here and there. Or you can go and take like major college courses, for example, on something. You can read a couple of snippets of an article on something and just kind of take a few words here and there and say, I know all about this. Or you can really read a long book, listen to a long lecture about something, and really have in-depth knowledge of something. So that's kind of like the push and pull here. So there's something that my Leo people, they may want to learn, But you know, maybe they don't feel like they have the time. Maybe they feel like they have to move fast with things. But, you know, there's a lesson here with like trying to find a balance so you can take your time and actually learn something on a really in-depth level that can like accelerate your life and accelerate like the goals that you want to achieve them even better and faster. Because the ninth house, excuse me, the ninth house is it's not just like higher education, which we commonly say in astrology. It's like, it is that college education. Okay, hold up a second. Let me use that as an example here, because the ninth house is before the 10th, right? The 10th house is careers, your highest achievement, your highest self. But what do a lot of people have to do before they get there to that 10th house point? They have to work through the ninth house, which is traditionally, you know, if you live a more traditional life path, you go to college, you go to school, you work under a mentor, you do an internship, and you may do that for a long period of time. You have to go through training before you can get to the job, right? So that's kind of the energy of the ninth house here. Then we have the third, which is kind of like, you know, like I said, learning things quickly. So there may be something that you want to learn how to do in order to accelerate your life, but you really have to find the time to do it and have to be serious about achieving those goals. Very serious about it. Also, on a more mundane level, this full moon could be calling Leo, Mercury shadow, help me now. It could be calling Leo people to find a way to, I don't want to say take a vacation, but like, yeah, kind of broaden your horizon in some sort of way. To broaden your horizons, but without like leaving, you know, the small part of your world behind. So it's really a push and pull with that's going on with this full moon for Leo people. Excuse me. So next up is Virgo. The full moon in Libra. How's it affecting Virgos? April 11th. This is between your second house and your eighth house. Ooh, hold on. Let me take a sip. I'm losing my voice. I'm so sorry, guys. But I'm going to get through everybody. Don't worry. I'm going to be fair. This is a full moon in Libra. I got to be fair. So hold on 1 second. Okay. So second house and eighth house. What does that mean for Virgos? So the second house, where the moon is going to be. This is where you're going to, like, where the moon is at with Jupiter is where you're going to feel like taking a chance on an opportunity. And you're going to feel like jumping. So the moon is in your second house, how you earn your money, how you balance your money, you budget your money, how you spend it, how you value yourself. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a really good one for Virgos. Okay, so how you value yourself, especially because this is Libra energy. Libra can tend to, once again, it can tend to lose its identity within other people. And if this is your second house, that can mean you can tend to lose your identity, your value of yourself in other people, and value other people more. And Virgo is already a very selfless sign, okay? Virgo is the energy of service, being of service to others. So you can kind of lose yourself in that sometimes, Virgo, and not really take care of you. Like a Virgo that's vibrating and operating on like the light side, the very strongly positive traits of Virgo, they really take great care of themselves, you know, but Virgo can still be very selfless. So that's the extreme with Virgo. Like, it's either you take care of others too much and not yourself, or you could take care of yourself a lot but pay attention to your body and yourself like way too much to where you're OCD and you're a hypochondriac, okay? Basically, that's how I could put it. So anyway, back to the full moon, okay? So this is like valuing yourself though, Virgo. Virgo, how you value yourself. Are you giving yourself away in a relationship way too easily? Are you giving, just your value away in general way too easily? That goes for jobs too, because this is in your money house too. Are you like earning enough money in your job? Are you earning enough money in your job? You know, that can be one thing that's brought up for Virgo. Maybe a breaking point can excuse me. Maybe it can bring things to a breaking point to where you feel like you need to earn more money and you just feel like breaking free of the job that you're already doing so that you can go somewhere where you're more valued and you can make that more money. Okay, but also remember that Venus retrograde conjunct Chiron in Pisces is associated with this full moon, and it's happening in the relationship house, in the 7th house for Virgo. So this can be a little more about relationships for you guys, for Virgos. And the 8th house where the sun is at for this full moon, it's all about intimacy, intimate bonds with other people. So that's another lesson in like giving yourself away. Like, are you giving yourself away too much or not enough? Do you not value yourself enough to feel like you are worthy of love, of that deep, intimate love that's achieved in the 8th house where the sun is at? You know, the 8th house is about breaking down those walls of like security, of feeling so paranoid and scared that somebody's going to hurt you. And I know a lot of Virgos have been through a lot of hurt and stuff with Chiron in your 7th house, Neptune in your 7th house. You guys have been prone to deception and pain in relationships for years now. But this is an opportunity to kind of like heal from that. You know, you guys have been having lots of opportunities to heal from that actually. But this is another one. This is another one to take advantage of. So you can have that intimate bond to where you can share your world with another person, which can mean sharing finances, other people's money, which is the 8th house, with another person. Excuse me. But so it can be about money. It can be about relationships, or both for my Virgo people. So next up is Libra. OMG. Hold on. Let me take another sip of something. Hold on. Because this is major for Libra, because this full moon, the moon is in your sign and the sun is in your opposite sign. So that's relationships for you guys too. Relationships, but also individuality. Once again, the lesson of whether or not you are allowing yourself to be an individual in relationships, and like still maintain a balance of meeting in a common ground with another person. Big lesson for Libras. I mean, it already is for you guys, because Libra has Uranus hanging out in your 7th house of relationships. That's a long-term transit. You still have like another year to go of crazy, wacky, unstable relationship stuff potentially happening to you guys, Libra. But this is definitely going to bring something to light for you guys regarding relationships and how you're valued, and are you being an individual? Like, have you, because Libra can, as I mentioned earlier, Libra can lose themselves in another person very easily, and like be like, you know, whatever you like, whatever you like. You, like, what kind of food do you like, Miss Libra? Whatever kind my husband likes. Like, do you have your own personality, Libra? Crickets chirp. I don't know. Like, I'm just so into this relationship or so into this other person, and like I don't know how to be an individual. I don't know who I am. That can be also a lesson for some Libras. You know, are you being yourself, like truly yourself, not like putting on a facade just to keep the peace? No, are you really being yourself, Libra? Are you allowing yourself to be valued for who you really are? You know, that's going to be a big lesson with your ruling planet, retrograde, conjunct Chiron. It's time to heal from feeling like you have to put on a facade in order for somebody to love you, in order to have a good, solid relationship. You can still be yourself. Pick somebody that is going to make you feel comfortable being yourself, and not like you have to just go along with everything they're doing, because Libra attracts Aries, and Aries can be kind of dominating, like just being completely honest, to make you feel sometimes like you have to do what they're doing in order for you to be loved and have a peaceful relationship. Well, that's not always true, Libra, and that may be a huge lesson for you guys with the full moon in your sign. So next up is Scorpio. Fellow Scorpions, what is our lesson with the full moon in Libra? Ooh, and we are almost done with the signs. Hopefully I still have a voice by the time I get to Pisces. So for Scorpio, this is between the 12th and the 6th house for us. So this is the same as our opposite sign, Taurus. This is all about, it is about taking care of yourself. It's about taking care of yourself and taking the time out and getting in touch with, because, oh my gosh, Jupiter and the moon are in our 12th house. The 12th house is spirituality, is dreams. Tell me this, fellow Scorpions, have you guys been experiencing, since Jupiter has been in Libra, going forward, going retrograde, have you guys been experiencing more of kind of like, I don't want to be a cornball or anything, but like spiritual awakenings. Have you guys been experiencing that? Like, no, this is me on a real level. I'm not being corny, like, and trying to blow this up to be huge. Like, seriously, have you guys been experiencing spiritual awakenings? Or receiving a lot of messages through your dreams. I know I talk about that a lot, but you know, I'm a Pisces moon. Dreams are us, like Pisces in the 12th house, all about your dreams and messages through them. Messages from the unseen, from the beyond. Have you guys been tapping into like your ancestors or like the spiritual realm and feeling like even more highly intuitive than usual? Because Scorpio is a water sign. It's very highly like intuitive already, you know, which means tapping into like other realms and other people very easily. So have you guys been having more of that experience since Jupiter has gone into Libra in our 12th house? I don't know about you guys, but I have, and it's been really, really, it's been a trip, but in a cool way, in a good way, like to where you have like these synchronicities that happen and they are so unbelievable. It's like, are you seriously? Like, or you dream about something or someone and then all of a sudden you hear from them, or the thing happens that you dreamed about. And it's like, really? Like, this is very trippy, but it's real. So this is like being in touch with that world, okay? That part of yourself, but still maintaining a balance of being tapped into the physical world and the practical and the logical, okay? Because that's the 6th house. The 6th house energy is very similar to Virgo. Virgo is all about practical and logical. The opposite, Pisces, 12th house, is like totally against all of that. It's more about like, I feel, therefore I believe what I feel, and I don't need validation from anything in the physical world that what I believe in and what I feel is actually true. It is true to me, so therefore it is, you know. But yeah, so a lot of us Scorpions are really tapping into the unseen world, and we're finding ourselves there. We're really finding more about ourselves there, you know. And Jupiter retrograde through there is like karmic stuff coming back, and then the moon is highlighting that during this full moon, bringing more of that. So definitely Scorpios, the full moon in Libra, pay attention to your dreams. It's one of those transits, one of those times where you need to pay attention to your dreams. What messages are you receiving? What do you want to manifest? Scorpions, right now, we're like the biggest like manifestors through our dreams. It's not even crazy. I mean, it's not even crazy. Mercury shadow. Why are you doing this to me? It's not even funny is what I meant to say. Scorpio, like, we are manifesting through our dreams more than any other sign right now. Like, well, we're one of the ones that are doing that with Jupiter in our 12th house, manifesting through our dreams. So I would say, you know, yes, dream, manifest things that you want, people that you want in your life, the type of relationship that you want, ideally, whether you are in one or not, you know, because what if you're in one and it's not really going ideally the way you want it to? The 12th house is about ideals. But then there's a sense of grounding and reality and logic and like, how are you going to get there, and problem solving with the sun in the 6th house, you know. So that there's going to be a push and pull between that for Scorpios during the full moon in Libra. It's like, do you want your dreams to become reality or not, pretty much, okay? Like, what do you really want to manifest that's realistic though, okay? Like, dream, but be realistic, if that makes sense, Scorpios, all right? Excuse me. Oh, one last thing, mundane level stuff. It can mean manifesting a great new job. Excuse me. A great new job, because the sun is in your 6th house of work and jobs, Scorpio. So if you really want a better job, you want a good job, you don't have one, you want one, this is a time to do some, you know, spiritual work with yourself to really manifest that job. Remember, the sacral chakra right here is all about like being creative. Excuse me. It's about being creative and being confident and just exuding energy of like, I'm worthy of these like great things, you know, and really believing in it. So tap into that, my Scorpios. Excuse me, gotta take a drink real quick. My voice is almost gone, but I'm almost through the zodiac for you guys. So just bear with me a sec. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm sounding like Fran Drescher, the nanny. I don't know if anybody used to watch that show. I saw her on a show the other day and I was like, oh, I miss Fran. Her voice is kind of like raspy like this, and her laugh is really funny. I'm not gonna even try to do it. I'll do a horrible impression of it right now. But anyhow, moving along to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, the full moon in Libra is in your 5th and 11th houses. So just like your opposite sign of Gemini, this is about being an individual versus being like a person in a group. But so the sun is in your 5th house of individuality, being a creative being and letting that creativity shine and be expressed confidently. The 5th house is about confidence too, like self-confidence. The 5th house is heart chakra. It is because, you know, it is similar to Leo. Leo rules the heart. It is heart chakra energy, what gets your heart going. And yeah, like creative stuff that gets your heart going. But I kind of feel like the sacral chakra is big too with the 5th house. To me, it is. Because if you're doing stuff that's creative, like you exude this energy, this vibe, this aura that people pick up on. It's like confident and people like it. People are attracted to that. Sagittarians, I would say this. If you're trying to manifest a relationship right now, because this is relationship energy with it being in Libra, do some creative stuff that like makes you smile really big. I mean, Sag energy already has it in the bag, usually with smiling big and being radiant to the world. But this is a time where you can really do some creative stuff to like have an even bigger smile. Like your smile, instead of being like this, it'll be like way out here somewhere. And you'll be so attractive if you do. However, remember that this full moon has retrogrades involved and review and excuse me, also healing and all that stuff. So if there's anything that makes you not feel confident, and I know people are like, how can a Sagittarius not feel confident? How can they not feel like radiant and shiny? Well, not all Sagittarians do, especially because you guys have Saturn in your sign right now. And Saturn can be like very restricting and say no a lot. And Sag isn't used to hearing that. Sag is used to just going after what they want and getting it confidently. Saturn is kind of suppressing that down and saying, no, you can't. Where you're like smiling big, you want to jump, woo, I'm going to do this. Saturn will be like, no. Then your smile goes to a frown. And so Sag hasn't really been having the best time, you know, with Saturn in your sign. So Saturn can be kind of making you go back over things and, excuse me, kind of checking you on things, restricting you on things, but it's for your own good. It's to help you to shine better, okay? So the full moon, it's like find ways to shine, Sagittarius. Find ways to shine. Find ways to shine like as an individual, also within a group, out to the world and everything. But also don't forget to kind of like not overdo it, okay? Don't overdo it because Sag energy is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter like can overdo it on a negative side. You know, it's very a feeling of abundance, and it's a feeling of like infinite boundlessness. You know, so you don't always see boundaries, and Saturn is now putting a big wall in front of your face. Like, no, this is a boundary. Like, you actually have to follow them, Sagittarius. So even though Saturn's been restricting you, just remember that the lessons are to help you to shine better as a Sagittarius. Tap into that sacral chakra energy, that heart chakra energy of the 5th house, and bring it to light, you know, with other people, which is the 11th house. And maybe that will help you, like, just in your life in general, like for success, to succeed, you know. Once again, this card, 8 energy, is about success. And this is 8 of fire. You're a fire sign. I mean, this is for everybody, but definitely Sag, like that is a lesson for you here. Excuse me. Okay, Capricorn. So Capricorn, the full moon in Libra is all about, this is like another, you in Cancer, this is you being in your element pretty much. Because it's 10th and 4th house. Capricorn, you guys are the 10th sign on the zodiac, okay? So 10th house is Capricorn stuff, which is highest achievement, being your highest self. It is being that CEO, kicking back with the cigar, you know, feet up on the desk. What else? Like, you know, all these plaques around you of achievement. It's all of that stuff. Excuse me. So that's the 10th house. The 4th house is opposite. It's like taking care of your family, taking care of the home. And, you know, Capricorn energy can be such the workaholic, such the high achiever that they kind of do neglect home, you know. And we have the sun down there in your home realm, your home sphere, and then we have the moon up there and Jupiter in your career. So like a lot of Capricorns can be kind of going through the same thing as their opposite sign, Cancer, where you have this great opportunity that comes to you. Maybe for you guys, it could be an opportunity to move, but you have a career opportunity at the same time, and you don't want to move because if you move, then it can mess with this career opportunity. But it could be for the greater good of the family. Like, how are you going to balance that out, you know? Or it could be you have a great career opportunity, and like I said with Cancer, it could change your schedule. You can have less time for family. How are you going to balance that out? You got to balance your time. So this is definitely about that for Capricorn. You know, how can you be your highest self, but still be like comfortable and secure, and you know, make other people feel comfortable and secure? How can you be that boss figure, but without being so dominating that you don't nurture them into being their higher selves? You know, if you are a Capricorn in that type of position, how can you still make people feel nurtured to where they'll want to succeed along with you or help your business to succeed? How can you do that? So, and then your ruling planet Saturn is like supporting the sun in your 4th house of the comfort zone, the nurturing, the family, you know. So that's definitely what this is going to be about for Capricorns. Now, Aquarius, this is your 9th house, your 3rd house. Aquarius is a very intellectual sign, and this is like intellectual houses of the mind that the full moon in Libra is going to be in, along with the sun in Aries, okay? Excuse me. So what that means is Aquarius, okay, let me see. Hold on, let me think for a second. The sun in Aries is going to be in your 3rd house, and then the moon in Libra is going to be in your 9th house. So it is another thing like your opposite sign of Leo, which is like a push-pull between, you know, how can you achieve great things and like really learn the lessons like for real and not just kind of skim the surface, you know? How can you achieve things like in your educational pursuits? Oh my gosh. Sorry, hold on, you guys. I have to take a drink because my voice is really going out. But I'm almost done. I'm almost through the zodiac. So just bear with me. Hold on. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is a season. Mars is right on my Mercury. Mercury is the voice and talking, and Mars is like, can be irritation. So that's why it's like extra me losing my voice. So my apologies today, guys. Excuse me, because Mars is right on my Mercury. Okay, back to Aquarius. I'm so sorry for interrupting. But Aquarius, yeah, so this is like, what lessons can you guys learn? What great lessons can you guys learn? Like really big lessons, like for real, that's going to accelerate you within your life and what you want to achieve. What can you learn? What can you really absorb and not, like I said, just skim the surface, you know? What can we do about that, Aquarius? We also have Saturn in Sagittarius, and for Aquarius, that's your 11th house. That's the Aquarius house. So these are all your intellectual houses are being hit by this full moon, like aspected. And then Venus in Pisces is in your 2nd house. So that's value and self-worth. So really it really is about relationships for you guys. It really is. How you're relating one-on-one to other people, how you are letting that value or devalue yourselves, how you're communicating, because the 3rd house is communication, and that's where the sun is at. How are you communicating with other people? Are you guys like on the same level with each other? Because Aquarius energy, just being completely honest and real, as I always am with astrology, Aquarius energy, it can feel like an elevated being at times, to where it can be difficult to communicate with people on a level to where they don't feel like beneath them or like dumb, like just being honest. You know, like Aquarius can be like a know-it-all, like I knew this, I know that already, I know all about this. You guys won't hesitate to tell people like I already knew that, you know. But a lot of times that can kind of make people feel degraded in a way, you know. So this is about communication as well, how you can communicate things on that higher level to help teach people something, rather than just say, well, I knew this, I know that, and I'm just so like up here and you're down here. You know, how can you help people to actually learn to be on your level, Aquarius? And how can you let other people teach you in that way too, to where you don't feel dumb for not already knowing something, and you can like value like the information and the knowledge is being given to you, to where you're like, oh, okay, like I didn't know that already and I don't want to say it, but it's okay, you know. So that could be something for Aquarius, that is a great lesson with the full moon in Libra, because this is Libra energy, relating one-on-one to others. Communication is very much the key for that. So your communication houses are definitely being hit, my Aquarius. So last but not least is Pisces. Pisces, how's the full moon in Libra affecting you guys? This is me too, because I'm a Pisces moon. So this is the 8th and the 2nd house, and Venus is retrograde in our sign. Venus is ruling the full moon in Libra. So there's a lot for Pisces too. So first of all, Pisces, the moon and Jupiter are in our 8th house. The 8th house is not just money, other people's money, shared resources, shared finances, but it is breaking down that barrier and that wall and letting somebody in your soul, pretty much, like on the soul level. How can you allow yourself to do that? You know, but without 2nd house, the opposition, your self-worth being damaged, being jeopardized, okay? So for Pisces, that's what it is. Like, how can I feel strong in like who I am, which is Aries, our 2nd house? How can I feel strong and confident in who I am, and still like, you know, value that and stand tall with that, but still allow myself to open up to another person on a soul level? But if I open up on this soul level, is this person going to shut me down? You know, if I let down my wall, which is the 8th house, are they going to shut me down and make me feel devalued, which is the 2nd house of value? So value and self-worth, relationships, big breakthrough for Pisces, especially because, as I mentioned, Venus is in Pisces retrograde, okay, during this full moon. It's in our sign. It's conjunct Chiron, wounded healer. That damsel in distress, Pisces, you know, we'll feel like being that damsel in distress. We may have painful relationship stuff come up and feel like wallowing in it and woe is me. If you're looking for a relationship right now, it's really not attractive to a lot of people to try to like get somebody, like, you know, manifest them, bring them to you by like expressing your pain, okay? Like, for example, excuse me, I've been binge watching The Millionaire Matchmaker, okay? And I know she turned it into a new show that's kind of the same, but the old episode's The Millionaire Matchmaker. So it's about relationships. It's Libra stuff, right? I have a lot of Libra in my chart, highly interested in relationships. It's one of my specialties. So I've been watching that. And one of the biggest things that I repeatedly hear the main matchmaker, Patty, tell people is, don't talk about your exes on a first date. Don't try to get people to feel pity and sorry for you for what you've been through in relationships in order to make them feel like, oh yeah, you know, that's not going to be attractive to everybody. And if it is attractive to somebody, chances are, Pisces, I'm telling you, they're not the right one. Let me just tell you that from a Pisces moon experience. That's what I used to do, honestly, personally. I used to do that. that's how when I would meet guys and we would get to know each other right away, what would I talk about? I would talk about the exes, my past experiences, what we went through, what they put me through, how they did me wrong. And this is what's going through a Pisces mind if we do stuff like that when it comes to relationships. In our mind, we feel like we've been pained before and we don't want that again. So we're expressing to that person, this is what I've been through. I've been victimized in this way. Please don't do this to me like the past relationship person did to me. Okay? Or feel sorry for me so you can rescue me away from my pain. That's what we're thinking when we're doing that. But I'll tell you what, if you do that and you attract somebody that way, they're probably not, it's not a healthy relationship because they're probably damaged too, number one. Number two, they're probably looking for someone to victimize. And Pisces are very susceptible to being victimized in relationship because of that selfless love that we can give. And we lose ourselves in other people too, just like Libra, where the moon is at. We lose ourselves in other people. So, this is going to be a lesson for Pisces too. This full moon in Libra is going to bring stuff like that to light. Like, do you want to continue being a victim and attract people that way? Do you want to continue wallowing in your pain of your past relationships, dwelling in it, and carrying around that sorrow and that, you know, you carry that around, you radiate that off of you, you have that in your aura, and somebody, if you're trying to get in a relationship, they're going to see that and probably be turned off by it, Pisces. So this is going to be a letting go thing. Saturn is going to be squaring Venus in our sign, okay? Saying, look, review the past karma. Great, buddy. Do it, but don't dwell in it. Don't wallow in it because you're not going to manifest a beautiful, healthy relationship with another person by carrying that around with you, wearing that wound on you, walking around like you're wearing a wound, like you're just a big gaping wound walking around, Pisces. Like, don't do it. Just don't do it. This moon is going to teach us a great lesson about that. And I'm not saying, oh my God, something horrible is going to happen to we Pisceans in relationships. You know, it's just like lessons don't always have to be like smacking your hand like that. Ow, that hurt. Lessons don't have to always be painful, pretty much is what I'm saying. They might have a little bit of a jarring pain, but then you'll heal and you'll be stronger. Like that won't be a soft spot anymore. It'll be like a tough spot for you. So relationships, you could be tougher, have a tougher skin. But once again, remember, this is the 8th house of letting your guard down and letting someone into your soul, pretty much. And the 2nd house of, you know, value, self-value and self-worth and everything. So not letting either or take over to where you can't have a healthy relationship. I feel like that's a really big theme for Pisces with the full moon in Libra. Oh my gosh, we got through it, guys, and I still have a piece of a voice left. And now it's getting a little darker outside. Oh, okay, here's a little more light. Okay. So anyway, that was it. Thank you guys for sticking with me this long and chatting with me about this full moon in Libra on April 11th. There's so much going on. Once again, if you missed it, the 8 of Fire card was pulled. A lot of stuff whizzing around in the background of this full moon. It's not just about the moon. It's about the sun, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, like Pluto. Like almost every planet is involved during the day of this full moon. So make sure that you tune in to the month of April, given by April, yes, by me, monthly forecast that will be coming soon within this coming week, the next week or so. Not or so. April is around the corner, so they are coming soon. Tune into those for the retrogrades, how they will be affecting you by each sign this whole month. Also, don't forget, this is a full moon in Libra. It's all about relationships. If you want to talk to me about relationships, you want me to look into your chart, go to my readers page on astrolotta.com. I would love to speak with you. I'm telling you, I get lots of relationship requests and I love it. Like to look at synastry, I have a synastry report. What I do is I go through you as an individual, what your needs are, your partner or potential partner as an individual, what their needs are, and then you as a couple, how you interact with one another. And I also look at transits, what's currently affecting you guys both, how each person is feeling about the relationship, about themselves. I look at like a whole big old like broad spectrum of things with relationships. I don't just say, oh my God, this is your soulmate, or it's not your soulmate, and then stop right there. No, I really dive deep into the relationship stuff. So go to my readers page if you want to talk to me about relationships, you want me to look into yours, I would love to. Also, throughout the rest of the month of March, still have special going on. Even if you don't want me to take a super in-depth look at relationships, it takes an hour long like that, you want to just talk to me really quick, ask me like 2-3 questions about your relationship. You can order a 20-minute reading with me, a Skype reading, or it can be recorded too. And you get 10 minutes free. So it's actually 30 minutes for the price of 20 minutes, which, I mean, even like an extra 10 minutes of valuable like information is golden. So, you know, make sure you guys check that out. That's through the end of March. And also, if you order a 30-minute reading, you get a free follow-up question, which I answer via email, or I can answer via like a recorded message. If it goes in depth, you know, I don't mind doing that too. So that's going on also until April 1st. So make sure you guys hit me up. I want to talk more about relationship stuff, especially building up to this Libra moon, you know. And once and for all, don't forget, tap into that sacral chakra to really attract people. I've been really into this at the moment, not just for myself, but for my clients. Some of them, if you guys have had a reading from me recently, you'll know I've been talking a lot about this to people. If you want to attract somebody to you, do something fun, do something creative, do something that's like a hobby, or like if you sing, if you dance, like tap into that rather than just like working and doing mundane stuff and then saying, why can't I find love? You know, like do something to where you're going to glow and shine, and somebody will see you shining and glowing, you know, and they'll be like, I want that person. I want that light in my life, you know. So definitely tap into that. Big lesson with this relationship stuff. I'm telling you, it works. Lada also has a video. I have been watching that video lately. It's been so helpful on how to, forgive me, I don't remember the title, the exact title right off the bat. I should have had it prepared, but pretty much like how to really manifest a good relationship and like how to be attractive, like magnetically attractive, okay? Talks a lot about this sacral chakra. Tap into that, you know, for this relationship to manifest a beautiful, healthy, happy relationship, you know, with the full moon in Libra. All right, so take care, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with me through me losing my voice and everything. I love you guys. I hope to talk to some of you soon with readings. And yeah, like take care. Enjoy the energy of this full moon, and be accepting to change. But don't change too fast, too quickly. Think about it. All right. See you guys next time. See you guys in my next broadcast. And I'll see you guys in the horoscopes also very soon.